Finding a game that you actually enjoy doesn't have to be hard. It may appear that way as we start hitting our 30s, and despite having access to more games than ever before, it's harder to find one that actually sticks. But that's why I want to show you how finding that game for you that you actually enjoy can be 5 times easier than you think. But only if you have 2 mindsets. And trust me, this is coming from a guy who's married with 3 kids and doesn't have a lot of free time. I could discuss with you whether games have changed, whether we've changed, whether the corpos are really trying to milk the entire industry, and there's videos on that already, and the answer is yes, it's pretty much a little bit of all those things. Instead, I really want to focus on the mindsets that allow you to really enjoy that game that really sticks with you. I think Gandalf said it best.
All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us.
When you're younger, time is infinite. You have lower responsibility, higher availability, and then when you get older and you lose time to adult responsibilities, you value it way more.
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life.
Regardless of how much or how little money you make, there's always plenty of that to go around, but what isn't plenty to go around is your time. Time can only be spent. You can only go forward. You can't retry, you can't respawn, which is why really the mindset of treasuring your time is one of the most valuable assets you can have in finding that game that you can actually like. And that really will make it and that's one of the things that will make it 5 times easier for you. Time limitations force us to choose.
But you have to choose. And you have to choose now.
Choice also forces us to give more weight to our decisions. You could take the game service route like Game Pass, PlayStation Plus, or Nintendo Switch Online, and you will have access to a lot of games all at once. But with access to so many, let me ask you this. Do you actually finish what you start, or do you do something like this? You start a game, you pause when it gets either hard or difficult, you start a new game, you start to play that for a little bit until maybe the novelty wears off, and then you stop, and then you forget about the first game you had, and then you reach out for another game and start that game until whenever, and then you stop that game and you start a new game. There's an inherent nature of these game services that isn't really advertised. Obviously, it's a great deal to get Game Pass at, what is it now, like $20 a month? $20 for a gaming hobby is very cheap. But the inherent problem therein that I don't see a whole lot of people talk about is it kind of makes you bored of the games industry in and of itself by starting and not really finishing until at least, I don't know, maybe most of the way through. Obviously, it's okay to not like a game. So if you truly don't like it, then don't force yourself to play something you don't like. When you have a low risk, I guess I would say, so you're not really putting your full game price and money into it, so you're not really you're kind of just, you have more access to the games, and there's a lower risk. If you don't like something, you can just get rid of it and try another one. And there's a lot of quantity over quality type of things with these game service. I'm not saying to not get Game Pass or Nintendo Switch Online or PlayStation Plus, but kind of just have this in your mind as you're going into this decision. I like to just kind of stick with one of these things versus getting them all. And this is because time is such a valuable currency. So when you treasure it, it really leads me to say you don't really have time to scroll. Do you ever find yourself scrolling through games, looking at what games are on sale more than you actually play games? A lot of people do this with Netflix. They have more fun searching for what to watch than they actually have fun actually watching it. If that's the case, then you might have an addiction. And I'm guilty of this as well too. You work, you do adulting, you finally have time to play, and then when it finally comes game time, you suddenly feel meh about the whole thing. There's too much pressure to have fun. To you, it's more, and sometimes to me as well, it's more fun shopping for a game than it actually is experiencing a game. In today's world of algorithms and with that, I mean, thank you, YouTube, for bringing you this video that you're seeing now. So a lot of these algorithms have our brains wired to seek dopamine from seeking rather than experiencing. We're constantly in search of the best choice in a sea of choices. You know, we're thinking the next one will be perfect. We never fully engage with the present game that we have because we're always seeking out the next one. Gaming like this makes satisfaction from gaming difficult. So really, more is less here. And being aware of this can really help you in treasuring your time. I know that sometimes I get a craving to play a PS2 game or a Wii game that's locked away. And really when I do that, I kind of play the soundtrack of those games when I get just to get the sensation of them. And then I remember, hey, I don't actually have time to play this because my plan is to play Cyberpunk or Assassin's Creed Origins. Part of your time is making a plan of what games to play now. I usually choose 1 to 2 per console to play. And through the power of saying no to 2 in the bush, it really gives me power to say yes to enjoy the bird in the hand that I have of my current game. When it comes to game time, I don't wonder what the next game is going to be like. I instead go deeper into the side quest of the current game I'm playing. Don't let the anticipation of the next game ruin your anticipation of your current game. Don't let something you don't have ruin something that you do. So how do you plan your games? This is where you actually get to find the game that you do enjoy. If you were to look at the games that you play most in your game library, do you see any patterns? How about from your hobbies outside of gaming? Most of the games that I play, obviously not all of them, but most of the games I play are single-player narrative-driven games. I have a ton of fun with Mario Kart, Splatoon, Lumines, Portal. There's a lot of games, you know, like that are outside single-player narrative games that I do enjoy. But when I look back at my games, the games that I've had the most memories with are Red Dead Redemption 2, Horizon series, Uncharted, Metal Gear Solid, and Halo. Outside of those, I really love to read. Well, maybe not read so much as listen to books, either on my commute, during chores, mowing the lawn, stuff like that. So while that's not the only factor I consider when considering what to play, I mean, if all I chose was story, I think I'd be in a little bit of trouble. For instance, I really enjoyed my time with the latest Indiana Jones in the Great Circle game. It was really good. When I remember what I had fun with, a lot of it had to do with the story it told and Troy Baker's performance of Indiana Jones. I thought those were super impressive. But when I recommend that game to my friends, I don't recommend it so much as a video game, so much as a great story. And I think playable movies are really cool and stuff. I obviously enjoy them, but I enjoy them in a different way than I enjoy like truly playing through a video game, such as The Witcher 3 or the Horizon series, or even Halo. So, you know, after 85 hours in Witcher 3, after 95, 100 hours in Horizon, like these games felt a little bit more like playing through a book than a movie. There's story and character progression there, but also there's the world, and I mean that like the magic system is cool in Witcher 3. And who doesn't like fighting Dinobots with a bow and arrow? I mean, that's just insanely weird. Halo, I had a really different experience with than you might have had with Halo. When you had Halo growing up, you probably started with the first one and really took years of enjoyment out of the first one, and then built your way up to the second one and the third one. I binged all these games in 2024. I saw an Xbox on sale for $350 and I grabbed it, loved it. Didn't really play any of the multiplayer so much as I just kind of experienced the games. But the games themselves, I mean, like even through playing in 2024, still some of my favorite games of all time. But really, I appreciate more than anything the story. The fact that they're a first-person shooter is, I mean, and they're different than an exploration game is really what, I mean, made it. Then there's things where then there's games where I have like Octopath Traveler, which is another story-based game. It's an RPG, and I kind of discovered that I do enjoy RPGs, just not maybe JRPGs so much. I find myself getting to the bosses of those games, and like, it's hard to put 25 minutes into a boss battle only to lose, and then just kind of just get frustrated, and then because I'm playing while I'm watching TV with my wife, I don't really have like a whole lot of time to go back to it. So, maybe I'll come back to it the next night, but I kind of find myself playing other games and prioritizing those more than I do Octopath Traveler, despite me like really enjoying the art style of those games too. And another thing is, I mean, these games that your strengths come these strengths come from don't always have to be in the current year either. I mean, like, one of the things I love the Switch for is rediscovering older games like Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 4. Both of those still play amazing in 2025. So really, it's never too late. And these games are also cheaper because you're not playing current year games. So sticking to your strengths, you don't always have to play the same game. I mean, you can reach out and play something that's completely outside of your comfort zone. So one genre of games I guess I could say I really suck at is online multiplayer games. I bought Splatoon 3 on a risk, knowing that I really wasn't into that game, and I really thought there was going to be online multiplayer. I really thought, in addition to online multiplayer, that there would be local multiplayer because Nintendo is known for that. But it wasn't until 3 years later, so I think the game came out in 2022, and I actually started enjoying the game in 2025, and it took 3 years for me to actually get into the game, and that was really a risk that I took, paying full price for that too. So, can you get outside of your comfort zone by not sticking to your strengths? Yes, but are you gonna risk paying full price for a game, like thinking that you're going to enjoy it 3 years down the line? Maybe. So again, yeah, most of the games I play, are story-based and stuff, so maybe they play differently than other games, but yeah, you definitely want to find your strength and your strengths and what you like to do best. Maybe you play Call of Duty, like every Call of Duty there is, and that's great, and that's really kind of not what you should rigidly stick to. But if you want to make a game 5 times easier that you'll actually finish, I would say find what you love most and kind of keep that in your core or your radius there. What strengths do you have with video games? Let me know in the comment section below. If you do like this video, I am a dad gamer and a gaming opinion reframer. So if you like this video and if you want to see more videos about games for busy people, hit the sub and like below. If you'd like to follow me off YouTube, I'm on anything really, but I do main Twitter. But the most important thing you can do right now is check out this video I'm going to leave up on screen, where I discuss the time that Sony accidentally made a console that was too good. And I'll see you then.